Chatters, chatties, hopefuls. Welcome home for a Great American Chat, a podcast where we chat about great American media. I'm Chad Maurice, and Cricket is here, along with two very special guests from the new season of When Hope Calls. The Busby is back, Cindy Busby and Christopher Russell. Welcome, you two. Thanks you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. Wait, do
Yes.
we need a nickname? Like, do we have like the Russells or something? Like, what are we gonna call?
How about, and I don't want to give myself my own moniker.
But I
Miss
will.
Russell, the love muscle. I just
Russell, the love muscle.
By the way, you know that's instantaneously gonna be on a T-shirt like in a week.
Yes.
I'm going
Oh
right
my
at my own
gosh.
joke.
You're gonna see it's gonna backfire, bud.
Oh, instant regret.
All right, now
Thanks for having us.
let me introduce you two to Cricket. I know you did a little introduction before we got on, but Cricket, you would have met her in last fall in Georgia at the convention that got canceled. You two were supposed to be there
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Halloween there. So Cricket was going to go. So you would have met her there. So you're meeting her now. And she's also a member of the Dono Fans, which is a Trevor Donovan fan group. And she
Yes.
hosts a podcast called Dishing with the Dono Fans, where they dish all about Trevor Donovan. So that's why I wanted her on here so she could ask you all the Trevor Donovan questions.
But we can't wait to answer them because we love Trevor Donovan.
Sweet.
Let's get started here. How excited are you two for people to see this show?
10 out
Very.
of 10.
11 out of 10.
11 out of
12 out
10.
of 10.
13 out of 10.
We're very excited is what we're saying. We're very, very excited.
Now, when the new season was announced, this was big news for the fans and the network and for you. The hopefuls have been waiting for 5 years for this show to return. And I'm sure you're aware of all the excitement surrounding this show, right?
I mean, I feel like I'm aware, but I'm also like maybe not fully aware, which is also probably good because am I maybe more nervous?
A lot of pressure.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
What's it feel like to be a part of a show with such a big fan base?
It feels incredible. Well, first of all, it feels incredible. And I feel like this world that I know I've been a part of for a long time with the movies I've done, etc. Like the fans have always been so loyal, so supportive, so loving. And I know that the Hardys are very intense and amazing and all of the things I just mentioned. And I know the hopefuls are as well. And a lot of them kind of coexist together. And it's really amazing to like already step into something that has a fan base. And I really believe in what the work we've done. And I think we're really going to do them proud and do the show justice. And they're going to be really excited. But yeah, it feels good.
Intense is a good word to describe the Hardys.
Yes. Yes.
Like in
I
a
didn't-
positive way.
I didn't realize the extent to which the fandom exists for this type of series, for the hopefuls and the Hardys, when calls the heart, when hope calls, until I was at Christmas Con for the first time, right beside Cindy. Chad, you were there.
Oh yeah.
And-
You remember? Oh no way. You met so
course
many
I do.
people. Do you? Okay.
And yeah, the amount of people that came up and they already knew about it and they're excited about it and they couldn't wait to see it, because I live in my little bubble here with my family, and I go to work and then I come back, and I mean, we're excited about the show. We were there making it, but of course we're excited about it because we were there making it. But to see other people who are already up to speed and aware of what's happening and can't wait for it to come out was pretty eye-opening.
Yeah.
It was pretty exciting.
Yeah. Now, Cindy, though, this is nothing new for you because you were on Heartland, and that show has a huge fan base as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And they're also all of the words I just described: intense, loyal, supportive, loving, like all of Yeah, and I mean it's a completely different world, obviously, and in present day versus
Right.
1920. But getting to work with animals again was such an incredible experience. And yeah, if there's one thing I guess I am bound to be a part of is part of projects that people are really excited about. So that's incredible. And I don't know how I got to be so lucky, but I'm here for it. And yeah, the Heartland fans are truly one of a kind. Absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah. Now we watched your IG live that you two did,
Yes.
and Cricket has a question about your maybe a
Yeah,
future career for you, Cindy.
so I noticed in the very beginning when you opened it up, right? You were doing this whole like, yeah, we're here, and you're doing all that stuff. So my question is, are you gonna ever do a career with beatboxing? Because I think you got a chance.
I didn't want to say anything, but
Right.
I've
Yeah,
already started. It's huge.
I've
I
heard
love
some of
it.
her, I've heard some of her hits from her mixtape, and I gotta say they are they are
That's
bumping.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Sweet,
often
sweet.
handing them out on Hollywood Boulevard. Just, thank you so much for noticing. No,
Yes, I
I will
did.
not
I
be
was there
doing
for
that.
it. Totally there
Mhm.
for it. I'm an 80s girl, so I was right there with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Chris, you mentioned Christmas Con. Cindy and I have met a few times there, and we met there. You mentioned that was the first. Was that the first big fan convention you've ever done?
I've never done one. I had been signed up for previous ones, but different things were happening
Yeah.
globally that made them not possible.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so this was my first event like that.
What did you think of the experience?
I was pleasantly overwhelmed.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
I couldn't believe it, but I've never met that many genuinely nice,
Mhm.
pleasant, and happy to see me people in my entire
Hmm.
life, and
Hmm.
they didn't, and none of them wanted anything from me. They just wanted to let me know that they were, a fan of whatever show or movie I had been in, and were happy to see me. And it just made me feel, I guess, very, very loved without trying to come
Mhm.
across in
Hmm.
any kind of way other than I was really surprised. I
Hmm.
couldn't believe it. Like these fans of these types of movies and shows are
Hmm.
um, very genuine and caring people, and it feels really good to be able to create something that they get so much out of, because when we're making them we just have our version of it, but
Yeah.
then to see how it's received on the other side, it just, I guess, it made me proud.
Yeah.
I was proud of what we do.
Yeah. And your
I
lines were pretty long, so people were excited that you were there.
Well, he was also fresh meat at Christmas con.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're like, who's that tall drink of water over there? I mean, I have been telling Chris, I've been telling Chris, I was like, you have to come to Christmas Con, like, let's go. And we were trying to make it, uh, one of my agents, I guess, the Jeff, who's been going with me to Christmas Con for years, we were like trying to get Chris Russell to get there, literally scheming behind the scenes for years. And I don't know if it was because of that, but I'm just glad it worked out for you.
I'm sure it had something to do with it, Cindy. Thank you.
I take full credit. Yes.
I'd never been to New Jersey before, so thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh. So Cindy has been here before, and we got a little bit of background on her when she was here. Let me refresh, see if I got this right. Cindy, you grew up near Montreal. You went to school for theater, and you've never worked a day in your life because you started working full time as an actor right out of college. Did I get that
No
right?
way. No way. Gosh, I wish that was true. Actually, I don't wish that was true because I learned a lot through the experiences. But yeah, no, definitely not. I had a lot of other jobs.
But Chris, what about you? Where did you grow up?
So I started off in Toronto, Ontario. My parents are from England, so we went back there for a little bit when I was a kid, then back to Toronto. And then for those of you out there who might know, Georgetown, Ontario, small town north of Toronto. And while I was there, I was involved in the community theater and the high school drama club. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so theater in high school, that's how you got started?
Yep. And then actually it was my 7th grade teacher. I was working as a waiter at a golf club, and I was doing this private event, and she was there, and she said that her daughter had an agent, and I should go meet him. So I did. And that was my first agent, was because of my grade 7 teacher
Really?
giving me a referral.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
so
so
you were young
awesome.
then when you got started.
Well,
Yeah.
no, sorry. By this point, I'm 20.
Oh, okay. It
Oh,
was
okay.
years after. Okay,
I wasn't in grade 7 working
I
as a
gotcha.
waiter.
I got you.
I was gonna say you're
I was like, wow. They
Sorry,
do
I
things
messed that
different in
story
Canada
up.
there.
I messed that story up.
I didn't follow
Yeah.
the conversation there, did I?
But yeah,
By
I
the
went
way,
to.
Chad, I was also thinking the exact same thing.
I'm sorry, everyone. I get accused of that a lot. My wife tells me, she's like, "Can you not start in the middle of the story?"
I mean, you do wake up at like 4 a.m., so
That's true.
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
Is that to
So-
work out?
Usually, yeah,
Is it? Is it?
yeah.
Yeah,
4
that's
a.m.
cool.
club. Mark Wahlberg.
That's it.
Cool. That's cool.
Wow. That's awesome.
cool.
So Chris, so do you speak French, Chris? And the only reason I'm gonna say this is really the only thing I remember from French class. I know Cindy speaks French, but I can only say tu es tête de jambon.
Oui, oui, oui. J'habite dans une bibliothèque avec un chat et un chien parce que le singe est sur le branche. Je mange une citrouille.
Okay, I don't know any
Wow.
of that. Okay, so what did you say back to me then?
Cindy can translate.
I don't actually know half of what you just said. I don't know what language that was, but I don't think it was French.
That wasn't French. It wasn't. It wasn't.
What I was
All I
trying
heard
to say was,
I am in the library.
yeah. And what else?
That's literally all I understood. Can you say it again?
No.
Great. If someone knows what he said, please write it in the comments below.
Right?
So,
So
are you French, Chris, or not?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
No.
Okay.
That's just one area of Canada.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
So-
just like around Montreal, everyone speaks French, right?
Well, it's like Quebec, Ottawa, Winnipeg.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, there's
I
like
gotcha.
pockets throughout, but primarily Quebec and Ottawa. Yeah.
I got you. So what? Toronto and Vancouver, it's all English,
Yeah.
is it?
Well,
I mean, and other languages, of course.
it's
but
pretty,
Yeah.
it's very
Multicultural.
multicultural, but I guess less French would be.
definitely less French.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. So I got to say, Cindy, the first time I heard you speak French, it freaked me out because I thought you were some California surfer girl. And then I heard you speak in French and I'm like, what? She's French?
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was
that was my
wild.
first language. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, your English is really good. It's like when you see your favorite actor on a talk show and he's speaking in some thick English accent and you're like, wait a minute, he's English? Because in all his movies he speaks with an American accent.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
That
British.
was-
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like Australian or something. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Cricket, you got some more
So,
questions there?
I
Yeah.
do. So Chris, did you grow up in Canada or did you grow up somewhere else when you were younger? The only reason I'm asking is did you ever play hockey or did you like skate or what sports did you play?
Hmm.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, my parents are from England and we went back and forth for a bit.
Mhm.
But being, I guess I'm the oldest, so of 3. So the first generation Canadian, my dad was adamant I was not playing hockey.
Oh.
He didn't understand it. So it was only soccer, which is fine with me.
Oh.
I loved it. But so
Okay.
in the winter, I would play hockey, but not in a league or anything like that. So it would just be skating around at the the like community rink and what have you. But yeah, soccer was the sport for me. But then by the time it got to my brother, he was lacing up those skates every weekend.
Oh, what about you, Cindy? Do you skate?
Yeah, I did figure skating for a long time growing up. And then I was like kind of a kid that would do a lot of different sports, but never like just one for years on end. So I did gymnastics, figure skating, soccer, swim team,
wow.
karate for a second. Like I just kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything, but I'd say gymnastics, figure skating, and swimming were the top ones. Yeah.
Oh, how did you ever play hockey?
No.
No.
No, I was toe pick all the way.
Oh, pick. Yeah, that movie.
Cutting
Love that
edge. So
movie.
good.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
cutting edge. Now I have to ask Chris
Yes.
about this because I did not know
Oh,
that you were on. You were here. I'm going to move it over here. You were on 3 episodes of Star Trek Discovery.
I was.
Let me get rid of this endless logo
Who's
here.
that guy?
That's Lieutenant Milton Richter, communications
Yes.
officer.
That's awesome. I love it.
You look great in that outfit.
Mhm.
Thanks. It's a onesie.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that.
Yeah. So are you a Trekkie?
Am I?
Yeah.
Just next generation. When
Next
I was growing
generation.
up, yeah, I was a big fan of the Captain Picard, William
yeah.
Riker,
Number one,
you know, Data,
Jordy.
Worf, Geordie LaForge, Reading Rainbow.
So good.
Yeah, I loved it when I was a kid. I have a lot of memories of the next generation. I remember actually getting the toys too. And so when this came along and I walked onto that set in my onesie, I kind of couldn't believe it. It was like
That's so cool.
and for me, so I didn't see any of the other characters getting into character. And by that I mean the aliens. So when they're doing all their prosthetics, I'm not around for that. So I just show up when they're ready to go. And it was like I was in that world right away.
Wow.
Like it was crazy walking on the bridge of that Starship Discovery.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been fun. That must have been fun.
Yeah.
Great find, Chad. That's epic. Oh, look at these two.
I want to talk about some of the movies you've done. You said on your IG Live that you've done 4 movies together. I found some posters of 3 of them here.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other
Now-
one was Puppy for Christmas, but Chris isn't
Yeah.
on the cover.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when and where did you 2 meet?
On set of A Puppy for Christmas?
Yeah.
Was it?
Barrie, Ontario.
Yeah. Wait,
Canada.
did we meet at like we were staying at like a lodge place? Is that where we first met? Like maybe eating or something?
I don't know about that because we were filming at the lodge place. So my memory's mixed up. Was it in the leisurely hours or the work hours? Either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
that was
Fun.
when
It was great.
my
We had a good time.
son had just been born, and Cindy
Yeah.
actually got to meet him.
Yeah.
Got to meet me and my son for the first time at the
Oh.
Yeah.
lodge place in Barrie, Ontario.
I feel like we only got like maybe 2 days together or something.
Maybe.
Is that
Yeah.
possible? Like it wasn't a super long for our stuff anyway, super
Mhm.
long. And I remember thinking that you were like a really nice guy, but I feel like I didn't really get to know you until we did Love in the Forecast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I do remember you saying, how many coffees do you drink?
I'm pretty sure I still say that to you.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Chasing Waterfalls, I have to say, that was a groundbreaking movie.
Yeah.
And you know why? Well, for me, it was because that was the first of these G-rated made-for-TV movies that I saw where a guy was shirtless. Because that one scene, you 2 are in swimsuits, and I'm like, Whoa, Chris has his pecs hanging out all over the place. I couldn't believe it. That was the first time I ever saw that in one of these movies.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And then we shortly thereafter blacked out because we were in freezing cold water.
Yeah, that
Was it
water in
cold?
that scene was like
Wow.
glacier runoff. It was
Like,
like,
for real.
it was like cold. We were cold plunging.
Right?
Like I wouldn't recommend kind of cold plunge. Yeah.
Like you got 35 seconds, and that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Trevor does a cold plunge all the time. Are you into that, Christopher?
No,
No.
even when I'm getting paid.
Also not surprised by that, seeing as I remember your reaction when we did the cold plunge in Chasing Waterfall.
Yeah.
Now, also in that movie, Chris, you played the guitar and sang. Are you a musician?
I did take jokes aside. I did take guitar lessons for a while when I was younger, but that is, I have to tell you, is not me singing.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, there's a scoop.
I sang on the day when we shot it, but they used Julian Taylor, who wrote that song. They ended up using his voice for the final.
Really? Because I just rewatched that scene the other day, and it sounded like you.
It does look like it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But it was actually Miranda singing with you though, because she is a singer. Miranda Frigon.
Oh,
and I
okay.
think actually one of her songs is at the end of Love in the Forecast.
Yes. She's an incredible singer, and people really love that song. They ask about it all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into When Hope Calls. So
I
in
mean,
the
you
first,
didn't put on the
What?
Mountie outfit for no reason.
Right?
Like, where did you even get that? Did you just happen to have it?
It's just all it is a thin T-shirt.
Chris,
It's
you
like
should've
it's
been
got
wearing that the
good
whole
3D graphics.
Yeah, really does.
time.
I mean, mine's a t-shirt too, but yours is more in depth there, Chad.
Yeah, mine has
Yeah.
more detail. It's got like a pouch
Yeah.
on the belt and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it does.
That's fantastic.
So in the first season of this show, it revolves around two sisters, Lillian and Grace,
Yes.
who run an orphanage in Brookfield. So give us a little bit of a synopsis about this season and who your characters are.
Chris, I'll let you go first.
All right. I play Mountie Michael Fletcher, also known as Fearless Fletcher. And when you first meet him, he's taking over the post of Gabriel, who was the constable in Brookfield in the first season. And the reason for that is that Mountie Michael Fletcher is on medical leave because of an injury that he sustained during his countrywide pursuits of gun runners, and Gabriel takes over that for him. And this position for Mountie Michael Fletcher is a little quieter than he's used to.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So is Gabriel the Mountie from the first season? Is he on the show at all this year?
Yes. So Gabriel is from the first season. People will recognize him.
Yeah.
He is in this season as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So Alfonso, the writer creator, did a very
Mhm.
seamless job of incorporating all the best elements from season one and doing a very good transition into season two, introducing new characters like Cindy and I, and doing a great service to the original characters as well.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cindy, what about your character?
Yeah, so I get to play Nora Anderson, who is, so this all takes place in 1920, and Nora is a lawyer from San Francisco, which is absolutely incredible. So she's, super smart, strong, outgoing, loving, but she decides to leave her practice, and her family has mostly passed away. And she had an estranged sister, and she finds out that her sister had some children and that they may be in Brookfield. So she's
Oh.
out to go find them, hoping and praying that they'll welcome her with open arms. So it's quite vulnerable, and she just finds so much more within the community, and she finds connection, and she finds a family that she no longer has, that means a lot to her. So in a lot of ways, it's a new beginning, in Brookfield. And then, of course, she runs into Mountie Michael Fearless Fletcher, and at first is kind of taken by obviously his demeanor and his looks and his get up, and then finds out that perhaps he might be just what the doctor ordered, but also is extremely annoying to her. So it's like
What
that
she
really.
means is Mountie Michael Fletcher is very concerned about the law, and he sees things when it comes to that in black and white, whereas our lawyer friend over here, Nora, sees the gray areas and understands that good people can do bad things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
everybody deserves to be represented, until they're found guilty, etc. So yeah, they have really lovely banter, some really nice back and forth. They've kind of met their match to some degree. So it's really like, again, Alfonso and his team, like they just really wrote the two characters really beautifully. And yeah, it's really great because so much of the original cast is coming back to the show, which is part of, which is really great, and will make, the fans of season 1 and the movies that much more excited to watch. And what's also really great is even if you've never seen season 1, you don't need to, like, you'll be able to pick it up and you'll get where we're at, kind of thing, which is part of the amazing work that Alfonso did at making it all work out.
Now, if your character is an attorney, are we going to get some court scenes?
In this season, we do not have court scenes, but
Okay.
we do have. She does end up doing some work.
Okay. So it sounds like your two characters like butt heads at the beginning. Sounds like.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Mountie Michael Fletcher is used to everyone seeing him as an authority figure and what he says goes kind of thing. Not so much with Nora. She's very opinionated. He's not used to that. And he doesn't know why he likes it. He doesn't like it, but he likes it.
Right. Yeah, of course. And they're both like very clumsy around each other, where normally they would be very like controlled and in their element, but when they're together, it's kind of everything falls apart, so to speak. Like
they get flustered.
Yeah, they get flustered.
Okay. Now, does Nora help Lillian run the orphanage at all?
I'm not sure. You'll have to.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
But I will say that Nora does spend time at the orphanage. Yes.
Okay. That's what I
kids.
thought, because I saw a clip of her.
I had a lot of scenes with the kids, and that was really, really cool. I adored working with them. It was great.
Okay.
And all the kids are different than the first season, so it's a whole new gang.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Cricket, I'm going to let you ask a question here.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, how did you guys get casted for the roles? Like, did they come to you and say, "Hey, we want you to do, this character," or did somebody like recommend you guys, or like, how did you guys come into those roles?
Well, I got an audition. So actually, I totally forgot about this. I initially got an audition for the role of Hannah, which I actually completely forgot about, which is played by Sarah Fisher, who is absolutely incredible. But at the time, it just wasn't working out, and I wasn't able to do the audition. And then later on, the audition for Nora came around, and obviously I did it. And of course, I have a relationship with, worked for Bill Abbott many times in the past, and I've done Great American Family movies and been in this world for a long time. And so, I think that within my audition and the reputation and the relationships I had, somehow it all worked out. And that's kind of how it came about, I think, from my perspective. I don't know about anyone else's perspective.
Wow.
But it was fun, to do. I feel very lucky in that a lot of the movies that I've done in the past within this genre have been like offers to me, which is like, I'm
Yeah.
very lucky. And it was exciting to get to audition for this role and really like put myself out there and hope for the best. And so that was really nice that, it worked out. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
How about you, Chris? How did you come about?
I mean, I could just say, see Cindy Busby, because
You're like, same.
Same.
yeah, but yeah,
You
no,
auditioned,
same.
you auditioned for Nora too?
I auditioned, no, I auditioned for Hannah.
Yeah,
Oh, of
Hannah.
course, yeah.
No, so yeah, the breakdown came through for the new characters for season 2, and I saw the one for Michael Fletcher, so I put a couple scenes on tape and sent it out. And like Cindy, I've worked for Great American Family, I think 3 or 4 times before. So yeah, I already on their radar, so to speak. And yeah, here we are.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I'm surprised you two are still auditioning. I thought you got offered everything.
Well,
I didn't.
for something like this, I feel like they wanted to make sure that what we do in a modern day setting can translate into 1920.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that totally makes sense. I can see
Yeah.
that.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Now, when did you find out that you were going to be working together on this?
Oh, this is fun. This is a funny story. So the whole time we did not know that either of us was ever auditioning, because like, Chris and I have worked together many times, as we've already spoken about, and once in a while we'll like message each other like, hey, happy birthday, or like, hey, what's up, like, how are you, whatever. And then I get a rant. I hadn't talked to Chris in a while, and I get a text from him like, he's like, hey, how are you? I was like, I'm good. How are you? Like, what's up? He's like, oh, I'm good. I was just thinking, it'd be like so cool if we got to work together. And I was like, yeah, me too. Like, that would be so awesome. Like, we've already done 4, let's do 5, And then like nothing. Maybe like an hour or 2 later, he's like, yeah, I agree. It would be so great if we could work together. And I'm like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you getting at? He's like, I'm just saying it'd be cool if we got to work together like soon, like really, really soon. And all of a sudden I went like, and then I was like, are you effing kidding me? I was
Right.
like, dude. And he's like, yeah. I was like, are you anyway? And then I was like, well, nothing's finalized. And he's like, me neither. And I was like, okay, don't talk to me until it's finalized, and then let me know. And then I was like, same. And then it all worked out. And anyway, that was my version. And meanwhile, he's just texting, like knowing everything.
That's funny. So he knew before you did.
Yeah, he found out somehow.
Well, I saw an email. Maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Anyway, it was fun. It was a really good surprise. Really nice surprise.
great.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
we did not know going into this that it was going to be the 2 of us. And
No.
like, I was already excited about the job to begin with, and then when I found out about Cindy being Nora, I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. Like,
Yeah.
is this a joke? Is someone playing a joke on me?
Well, because we had talked about working together for like every time we would work together, it'd be like, Chris is so funny. He'll come out of the blue and be like, okay, So like, how do we keep doing this? How do we keep working together? Like, do we get a series? Like, what is it? I'd be like, yeah, let's get a series. And then he and I would come up with like ideas for series, like in between scenes and takes. Obviously, those ideas never came about, but this somehow manifested. So thank you for that.
Well, when you find someone that you work well with and
Yeah.
the movies you make together are successful,
Yes.
you want to keep that going, right? And to have the opportunity to do that on this show, it's just a dream come true.
Truly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Had you guys actually watched season 1 of When Hope Calls or the When Calls the Heart? Have you guys actually watched them before?
I did an episode of When Calls the Heart.
Yes, you did.
2017, I think. Yeah, maybe 2016, I think. So I'd seen some of that. And When Hope Calls, I actually auditioned for the first season of that show.
Oh,
and got close to a part on that. Didn't go my way, which is so interesting how it just like comes back around. And so yeah, I'd seen some of both of them, and then this came about. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, similar. I've seen some of the episodes, and then when I got the part, then I got up to speed with When Hope Calls. I'm certainly not going to sit down and watch all of When Calls the Heart.
No.
I don't have the time.
Right.
Dad's got to do some research.
Right.
135 episodes. I'll see you in
Guys, 1 second. I'll be right back. I just have to go get my phone charger. My phone's about to die.
Oh, your phone's about to die. All right. My next question was for Cindy, so we'll.
But yeah, like Cindy, I also, not When Hope Calls, but When Calls the Heart. I did do a screen test with Aaron for one of the mounts.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
Wow.
Was that when the show first started?
No, that was when
what's his
Daniel
name left?
Lissing
Daniel left. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So the Kevin McGarry role.
Yeah, you could have gotten the Kevin McGarry.
Yeah, so I was
okay.
yeah, I was there for that. And then interestingly enough, I just worked with Aaron last year on Santa Tell Me, and then and Daniel Lissing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's right. They were both in that movie.
And now here's When Hope Calls.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good movie. I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. So Cindy, you mentioned that you were on When Hope Calls. You played a character, Marlise. Was that her name? Marlise. Now, When Hope Calls and When Calls the Heart, they kind of occur in the same universe. So how come you're not playing the same character? How come you're not playing Marlise on this show?
I mean, that was a really long time ago, and honestly, we can all suspend that and like, let it go. It really was. It was a really fun part, and I had a blast working on the show. That being said, it was a long time ago, and now we're doing a new character, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. On The Sopranos, I can't remember her name. It'll come to me as I'm telling the story, but she played a waitress in the first episode, just a waitress.
Oh, nice.
And then she ended up becoming Christopher's girlfriend for the whole series.
Wow.
Different character.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I know so many people in Vancouver who were on Supernatural like season 2 or 3 and then came back for like season 10 or 12 as like someone completely different. You're just like, let's I get why, again, the fans are so invested and so supportive, and I get why that they would ask that question. Because I saw some like chatter about that online, so I'm not surprised that you asked me that. And I was like, okay, I get it, guys, but also like, it's okay. We can let it slide.
Hmm.
They'll forget all about it. They'll forget
Yeah,
all about it.
He's
I've
very
seen that.
different character too.
Yeah,
So
I've seen that occur on other shows. I've seen that occur, like
yeah,
on the original Magnum PI back in the '80s. They did that. They did that on
yeah.
Smallville. I think they did that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
So
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Totally.
All right. Now
Oh ho ho!
Cricket's
Here
gonna
we
take over for
go.
this part.
No, my question for you, Chris, is how do they introduce Mountie Jim? Like, how does he come into the role of being a Mountie with you? If you can
Yeah,
tell
I'll
us.
find a way to generally speak about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad's like, yeah.
For those who are just listening and not watching, we're on the Trevor Donovan discussion right now.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
we're
right.
just looking at a picture of Trevor Donovan looking off into
Yeah.
the distance, perturbed. Um,
I mean,
yeah, so my character has to go on a little mission with another character, and we have to see my buddy Jim to help us out with this mission.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
that's a
Okay.
yeah. That's a really
Okay.
that's very vague and
Yeah.
yet very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys ever worked with Trevor before? I don't think you have, but I want to make sure I'm right on that.
I had never worked with Trevor. I met Trevor years ago at Christmas Con. And I just remember really liking him and thinking he was a really great guy and he was funny. And then my husband produced a show years ago that before I knew him, that Trevor was on called The Baxters.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, so that was like an interesting like
Connection there. Right.
connection. So yeah, we kind of like ran into each other, but we never worked together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Chris, you haven't worked with him either, right? Till
No,
now.
I didn't meet him until he was all actually no, that's a lie. I met him in the hotel when he was checking in, but he was in a hurry then. But when I really got to know him, he was in his Mountie uniform on set. And yeah, the legend is true. Trevor Donovan is a great guy.
He's just you guys, I have to say their connection behind the scenes was fantastic, but on screen they had you guys have such a good connection and such great banter, and they were like coming up with like new lines they could say, and like it was just really wonderful to watch a friendship blossom before my eyes.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, could you ride a horse before that, Chris, or did you learn like on this show, like when you're filming?
No, I've ridden a horse many times on and off screen. I wouldn't call myself a cowboy, but I can get by. I can ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
would you say you're the better writer or Trevor would be the better writer?
I would say Trevor would be the better rider.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He's
Yeah, he's
spent
actually
like
a really good writer.
he spent like 6 months on a horse in Mexico
Yeah.
making a show.
Yes. Yeah.
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 All right.
Well, what about you, Cindy? Do you ride?
I did ride when I was on Heartland, and I took, my own lessons and would go to the stable, etc. But I haven't ridden really since the show, so it's been a while. But and I don't ride in When Hope Calls. I only drive the wagon.
Drive the wagon.
Drive the wagon around with my boy Zach, the horse. The 1-ton horse. He's so sweet. And that's sweet.
The loud wagon, right? You said on your IG live the wagon was loud.
It was so well. You're also like on a dirt road, so you're just like, boop, 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 and you're like trying to talk, and you're like
The wheels are made of wood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Worth it. Aww.
All right. Here's Lillian, played by Morgan there, and
Yes.
Gabriel.
Yes.
So on the first season, Lillian is like the main character of the show. So what happens on this season? Has she been like demoted to supporting character or something?
There's no demotions here.
Definitely not demoted. That's for sure.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything other than Morgan
right.
has her own show, as everybody already knows,
Right. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is very successful and does really well.
Mm-hmm.
And Morgan is the most gracious, kind human, and I really, really loved working with her. And
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. But is she not on every episode?
She has a significant
Yeah,
arc.
Does
Yeah.
she?
a very significant arc.
Okay.
People will really enjoy seeing her again, and they will get
Quite a
plenty of
lot of her.
Morgan time.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. All
yeah.
right. All right. That's good to know. That's good to
You
know.
guys are sneaky. Trying to get all the tea in this. This is the most we've been tested so far. I
We're,
feel like
we're
we're passing, but it's close.
trying to get as much information as possible. The fans
Yeah,
want to know. I mean, come on.
I
I
get
mean, they
it.
could watch it.
Right.
Well, and they'll
That's
watch
true.
it.
Very true.
Don't get crazy, Chris. Yeah.
So did you already ask about Grace, Chad, or no?
No, Grace is gone. The other sister. She's in
Okay.
London. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's in
So
London,
did
and she's
they?
also on another show.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Sorry, I'm
Mhm.
still getting familiar with some of the names on the
No, that's
first
okay.
season.
Yeah.
Okay.
But did they create your characters and some of the other characters because some of the other characters were leaving? Is that why you think that they kind of implemented those roles that you guys are now going to be playing in?
It's hard
Kind
to
of.
say exactly why. It's been 5 years since the first
Yeah.
season, so they
Uh-huh.
probably, and this is just me being hypothetical. They put a lot of thought into it, and
Mhm.
real life circumstances and
Mhm.
storylines converged, and to give it a fresh start. And they created these new characters. Yeah.
And what's
Yeah.
also
Okay.
great about this show, I will say, is yes, like Chris and I are the leads of this of from now,
Right. Right.
season 2. Um, that being said, the ensemble cast, it's more of like almost like an ensemble cast in a lot of ways. Like there's so many incredible storylines that have nothing to do with our characters, or
Right.
that we're like uh characters within their storyline, etc. So that's what's really fun about this season. And I feel like people are really going to get attached to a lot of other characters as well as ours as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of other characters,
Yeah, there you go.
so some of the returning characters, Tess is back, played by Wendy there. She
Yeah.
was like the villain in the first season, kind of.
Hmm.
And Maggie the nurse is returning, right?
Yeah, Hanneke Talbot. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was really surprised on your IG Live. You said Jefferson Brown is going to be back. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, standing right
Wow.
beside Hanneke.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing
Nice.
because he's got a big role on another popular show. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I
he
was
does a lot.
surprised.
He works a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what about Marshall Williams, who played Sam in the first season? Is he coming back or what?
His character's coming back, but this season it's being played by John McLaren.
Oh, because of recasting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will say I am a fan of both of those men.
Mhm.
Marshall as well as John. I've worked with Marshall before.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's how the cookie crumbles sometimes in life. But John does such an incredible job, and I feel like it's just perfection and seamless.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Now the $1 million question here. You know I had to ask. Are we going to see Lori Loughlin? Because she was in the Christmas movie. Are we going to see her or not?
I'm not going to say anything about it.
I figured that was going to be your answer.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not going to say anything about that.
All right. All right.
Yeah. But good try, Chad. Points
Good
for
try,
Brian.
right?
I'll take a no comment there. That's all right.
Yeah, no comment. Yeah, I never thought I'd have.
Now you said you haven't worked with Trevor before. What about your other co-stars? Have you worked with other people before that are on the show?
worked with Hanukkah Talbot on the movie I did with Chad Michael Murray. We did that back in 2021, which is actually right
Oh,
before they shot the Christmas movie, the When Hope Calls Christmas movie. So I had just
oh,
before that, uh, which were both shot in the North Bay area. So I was really excited to work with her again because she's so incredibly talented and like just honestly like kind of like a soul sister, you know, where you just like meet someone and immediately hit it off. And so yeah, but other than that, she's the only one I knew ahead of time.
okay,
Other
okay.
than Chris, obviously, but we've
That
worked together.
that with the movie with Chad Michael Murray. You talking about that Christmas movie you did
Yeah, the
together?
Christmas movie. I'm thinking of
Yeah,
the old title, which was
yeah.
Holiday.
It was
It was called
toys, or had the word toys in it, didn't it, or something?
yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, it'll come back to me.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
can't think
I
of
know what
the
you're talking
title. I
about.
can only remember the original title
Yeah,
for some
I know what
reason.
you're talking about. Chris, had you ever
Toying with
worked?
the holidays. Toying with the holidays. Thank
That's
you.
it. That's it. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris, had you ever worked with anyone?
Yeah, I worked with Neil Crone on
Oh yeah.
my first Hallmark lead, Midnight Masquerade,
Oh yeah.
which
Oh,
Okay.
was
that's right. That's right.
yeah, which was like 11 years ago now.
Wow.
So that was I worked with him on that. Him and I had quite a good rapport on that. He was like my buddy, and we started a business at the end of that movie. Sorry, spoiler alert. After I already spoiled it.
It was 11 years ago.
But so to have him on this show again, to get to work with him again was great because he's hilarious, and we have
Uh-huh.
some really fun
Okay.
scenes together. Him and I, like really
Yeah.
fun scenes. And then John McLaren,
Yep.
who's playing Sam this season,
Uh-huh.
him and I worked together on Flashpoint for the series finale. The last two episodes of that we worked together. We were firefighters. Um, I can't remember what our names were. I think mine was
Okay.
Barry.
All
But
right.
other than that, oh,
Ew.
and you know what?
Well,
Wendy Crewson, who plays Tess, she might not
uh-huh.
remember this, but she was on Star Trek Discovery as
Oh.
well. But then she had a she had to go to another show. But yeah, so we had
Oh,
briefly worked
okay.
together on that.
Wendy, whenever I see a picture of her or an image of her, I immediately think of the movie The Santa Claus. That's because that's what I think of because that's who she played. She
Yes.
played Tim Allen's ex-wife in that movie.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh,
Yeah.
and you know who else I knew that's in When Hope Calls, but we didn't our worlds didn't cross in the show, is my buddy Matt Wells, who plays Ray in the show. He was in Everything Christmas with me.
Oh, okay.
Um, the one with Corey Sevier.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so I knew him, but we didn't have any scenes together, unfortunately. So,
Yeah.
but
So what's it like joining a show that already exists? Did you feel like a little bit of an outsider or everyone welcoming to you?
oh, everyone was incredibly welcoming.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I feel like a lot of the people that were returning have been through, there's been a lot of changes with the show and like with
Mm-hmm.
times of, they did the show before 2020 and then all that
Right.
happened. Like, there's always like things that happen along the way. They were just so excited it was happening and they were excited to have new people. And that's the great part about having an ensemble cast is it's like everyone like is excited to just work together and hope to be in each other's worlds and
Yeah, and the way the show's structured, I feel like
yeah.
I don't want to put words in their mouths, but I don't think much changed for them. There's
Yeah.
just a couple new people in town, but they've still got
Yeah.
all their stuff going on that would have been
Totally.
the same continuation from the first season, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. That's a good point. Yeah, no, I have to say, like Chris and I would talk and we're like, there's literally nothing bad to say about anyone. Like
Yeah.
I can't even think of one anything that was like, oh, that person. Like it was honestly like it was like a dream scenario, like
Yeah.
where every cast member is like down to earth, talented, funny, kind, prepared, talented. I know I already said it. And the
Yeah.
crew too, like the crew, the directors, the producers, like everyone was just so happy to be there and worked really hard. And I just can't say enough about that because it's so important nowadays to just like the kind of topics we're talking about and the kind of material we're creating, which is family friendly content.
Mm-hmm.
We were a family and we were friendly behind the scenes too, which is really special because like what was happening behind the scenes is what was happening in front of the camera. And like I think that will really transpire when people watch it, is they'll feel the goodness that was all
Yeah.
around.
Everybody put in their best effort, and everybody
Yeah.
really cared about their
Yeah.
job, like crew, cast, everybody.
Yeah.
Because you can be on a set in this industry where you have people just walk around and like, oh my God, I just want to go home, or
Yeah.
or they're looking at the script and like, oh, do I really have to say this? None of that on this set. None of it.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, it's really nice to work with people that you enjoy, that you like. Yeah.
The only thing that was annoying, to be honest, was the wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Like there's like a field not far from set, and it's just like a wind tunnel basically but hey, I can live with that.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, it was just windy, but that's,
Oh.
that's
Because it's
fine.
so
Okay.
open.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Sarah Fisher. She was
Mhm.
also on Heartland. Did you work with her at all on Heartland?
I heard that she was on Heartland, but no,
Yeah.
I never.
Oh, you
No,
never worked with her?
we
Okay.
actually we talked about it. I think she showed up like maybe 2 seasons after.
Oh, okay.
And she's a little bit younger than me, so we had a little bit of of a
Yeah.
gap there, and she played
Yeah.
but yeah, it's so in the Heartland. I'm surprised you were never on Heartland, Chris.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
I don't
it's
know what
such
to tell
a,
you.
I mean,
It's
Canadian.
that I'll be honest, it's
Uh-huh.
not from lack of trying. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's funny. All these shows that are filmed in Canada, you always see the same actors on all the shows.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, especially when a show's been on TV for
Yeah.
18 years,
Uh-huh.
like
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
bound to happen.
Yep. Now I have to ask about wearing this 20th century garb. What was that like? This early 20th century stuff?
Oh, it was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
You're just transported. It helps create the character. You have the
Absolutely,
hair,
yeah.
you have the makeup, you put on the outfit, and you're on the set, which is in and of itself like so amazing. And yeah, it
Yeah.
helps facilitate the process. I actually thought it was pretty comfortable.
It's probably fun to get dressed up like that, isn't it?
I thought so.
Like Cindy said, it really gets you into character right away.
Yeah.
For myself, it would change the way I stood, the way I carried myself, which is really important to be playing a Mountie in the 1920s. And it just really gave it that extra bit of authenticity.
Totally.
In
Yeah.
addition to the town that looks amazing.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. So Cindy, did you have to wear a corset?
I didn't. I did
No?
not wear a corset. No, I have the
Okay.
petticoat, I have a slip, and then I have, the high-waisted skirts and the
Uh-huh.
shoes, which I think Chris and I can both say that our shoes were not comfortable, but they felt authentic.
They felt authentic. Yes.
Speaking of shoes, Cricket has a question. I know.
Okay.
So I have to know,
I
being
don't
a
know Trevor
Mountie.
Donovan's shoe size. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So my question is for the Mounties, when you guys, have those boots on, do you guys wear regular socks, or do you have like funny socks under there? Like, is there any kind of like fun things behind the scenes that you guys don't tell anybody with those socks?
I'm sorry to disappoint. I just wore woolly socks over top of blister pads.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No wonder you wore the woolly socks. You needed something thick over that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I wore like knee-high stockings though. I know
Oh, did you?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good question about the sock.
Now, where's this show filmed?
It's just outside of North Bay, Ontario, in a town called Powassan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so it's
it's
about
not.
3.5 hours from Toronto.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were, well, that wasn't close. I was going to say you were fairly close to home, Chris, but no, you're 3.5 hours. I guess you weren't.
I mean, closer than out
Vancouver.
west.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I was pretty close. My family's in Montreal. I got to go back a couple times, which was really great. It was nice.
yeah. So they don't use any of the When Calls the Heart sets for this because that's filmed in Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's its own thing entirely. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No.
And you said on your IG live you haven't gotten word of a third season. You have no idea yet.
No, we
Yeah.
don't. We're
Yeah.
on the edge of our seats just like everybody else. But I have a feeling, obviously tune in, everyone. That's
Mhm.
helpful.
Mhm.
And yeah, hopefully we'll find out by the end of the season. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it's going to be popular.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Chris and I are very excited to get going again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like, come on.
Come on.
Let's do this.
Chris
Let's
will
go.
text me once in a while and be like, okay, like, are we doing season 3 or what? I'm like, I don't know. Trust me, you'll be the first person I text if I find out anything.
Could you imagine? It's like, oh yeah, you didn't hear? I've
Oh,
known
you
for like
didn't hear?
6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. He's carbon copied on all those emails, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, geez. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so we want to finish up with some fun questions here. Since you've worked
Okay.
together so many times,
Amazing.
we want to know who's most likely to mess up a scene.
I mean, me. But I would say neither of us, but me, if we had
You?
to choose between the two of us.
I don't recall any of our scenes getting messed up per se. I mean,
No, they
it would
never
depend
did.
on the circumstances. Am I getting on a horse in my tight pants? Then yeah, I'd probably mess that scene up.
True. Are you having to cold plunge in Arctic water? Yeah, he screwed up the day.
I'd mess that up because I would say some explicits and we'd have to start again.
So
Thankfully, we weren't mic'd.
those pants are tight. Are they really?
Okay, they're not tight, but they are. It's hard to explain
There's
because
Yeah.
no like
they would-
elastic. Like
Yeah.
they put the elastic by the calves so they could pull up
Oh.
and get the boots on, but at the top
Oh.
there's no give in them, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't bend my knee
Uh-huh.
high enough to get it in the stirrup to swing
I
over.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So I need a ladder to get on the horse, like a step, like a little step.
It's actually hilarious. Okay, scene and hold. Kate, bring in the ladder. Chris, get on the horse. 3 minutes later. Okay, and action.
She's
No
not
way,
there.
really?
Oh yeah.
Really? Did you ever rip a pair?
No, well, yeah, but not doing that because I had the step. But so I took riding lessons on my days off, and I really wanted to prove to myself it was the pants and not me. So I made sure it's like I'm not using a step. I'm getting onto this horse with no step. Thank you. I could do it.
Okay.
Oh, see the things you learn when you hear about the behind the scenes stuff. That's awesome.
I just need some spandex in my attire, and I can get it.
All right, Cricket, fire away. You've got
So-
some questions, I know.
So, which one of you, when you were filming, would forget their lines?
Again, I feel like it's the same answer. Like we're both pretty prepared, but if we had to choose, it would probably be me. Like I think the ratio is more likely to be me. And once in a while, I mean, it's totally, again, it's
Yeah.
totally normal to forget a line, you know,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
sometimes your brain just blanks out or something
Right.
distracts you or, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, Chris is probably, other than Chad Michael Murray, the most prepared actor I've ever worked with. So, yeah, that's that's that.
Thanks, Cindy. But I'm pretty sure you're very prepared too. I think maybe you're like 1% more likely to forget a line than me. I don't
Yeah.
think it's that drastic.
Yeah, but in the excuse of making it funny, me.
Well, that leads me to my next question is, when you guys are filming, who would be the one that would start laughing and maybe couldn't stop?
Oh.
I feel like if it's one of us, it's both of us.
Yeah, we're usually
Mhm.
both laughing, or we can hold it till they cut and then we'll like break out laughing.
But if we're in a scene together, we're laughing because we've done something that we both find funny. That's
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
how it goes.
or because Neil Crone was doing something funny.
True.
It was hilarious as Ronnie.
Now,
Yeah.
well, who spends more time at craft services?
You know what?
I pack my own snacks.
Oh, do you?
And honestly, I actually bring my own snacks too. The only thing Chris Russell and I are ever getting at craft services is coffee or water.
That's it.
That's pretty much
Really?
it. Or
Otherwise,
gum.
you will
Okay.
not see
I
me
like
there.
to go get gum sometimes.
Do I need a donut right now? Probably not.
Yeah,
No.
craft services is usually full of junk food, so I can see why you're bringing.
Yeah, like sometimes you'll have like a veggie platter or something, but
Uh-huh.
I think Chris and I are both kind of picky eaters because we're very specific in what we want to eat, so we just know to bring our own food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I watched your IG live yesterday, and I heard you guys talking about how he gets hangry. You were saying, Cindy. And so my next question is are you part gremlin? Because you can't feed anybody after dark or give water. So that's my question.
For
I
me,
think he might be.
Yes, are you part
Probably.
gremlin?
Well, and also because he gets up so early, he gets tired when the sun goes down.
That's
Nah.
true.
That is true. That is true. It just reminded me of the movie when you guys were talking about that. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's got to
Yeah.
be part gremlin.
Probably.
Now, which one of you is most likely to direct someday?
I think we have a possibility of probably both directing, but I'm definitely very excited about doing that at some point. So I can only
Yeah.
speak for myself, but yeah.
Same. I'm already doing it in my scenes with the other actors. So
No, you're not.
You're letting them
kidding.
know
Those
who's
kind of
boss.
actors don't do that.
I'm
Nobody
kidding,
wants
but
another
yeah.
actor telling them what to do.
Yeah. Like, are you gonna say it like that, Cindy? No.
Can I hear a different
You
take?
But I
try.
have worked
Give it
with
to me.
people like that. I have worked with people like that.
Yeah, me
No
too.
way, really?
Yeah.
Yes. It's like
Oh.
the number one thing you do not do ever.
Yeah.
That's why there's a director.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stay in your
exactly.
lane. But someday, absolutely, I would love to.
Yeah.
I also would love to write and direct.
Yeah.
I have written a few scripts,
Yeah.
and I
Oh.
hope to one day bring them to fruition with
Oh.
myself guiding the ship.
Okay, so that
Yes.
was my next question. I was going to
Nice.
ask which one of you is more likely to write a movie.
I think we both already have written a movie. So
Oh, have you? Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all right, good. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It hasn't been made yet, but we
But
both
it's been
have
written. It is
written.
written.
It's been written, but it hasn't been made. Okay.
Call us.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Cindy and Christopher, this was fun. Good seeing you again,
So
Cindy, and
fun.
nice getting to know you a little bit more, Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to do this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was nice to meet both of you as well. And
Yeah.
maybe in the future, you guys can come on the podcast for Trevor.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love
I have
to.
no problem talking about Trevor for an hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
No problem.
So tell
The
people your
bromance will
social
continue.
Yeah, the romance will continue. That's right.
Yes.
Tell people your social handle so they can follow you and find you.
Well, I'm on Instagram at Cindy_Busby. And I have a YouTube page, and I have a Facebook page, and I have a website, cindybusby.com. You can just find me.
All right.
I'm all over, I guess.
All right.
You can only find me at Chris Russell Official on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Or
Okay. Or
on Great American Pure Flicks, April 3rd, on When Hope Calls, Season 2. Great American Family, April 6th, When Hope Calls, Season 2 premiere. And also for you Canadians out there that are watching
Yes.
the show,
Mhm.
Super Channel Heart and Home, April 6th, 8 p.m. See you there.
See
That's
you
right.
there.
See, I was going to plug it and I don't have to. You just did it for me. Awesome.
Perfect. I love it.
And Cricket and I will be recapping each episode. And we may
yay.
have some fun guests joining us for a couple of those episodes. So, hopefuls and chatters, make sure you tune in for those and watch our recaps. Yeah, I guarantee you all fun will be had. And
Yes.
until then, you keep the faith, keep smiling, keep your friends close, and keep your great American family closer. Bye bye. Thanks everyone for being here.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.